ahead and muted this video because my dog was barking nonstop in the background and it was very obnoxious. So I figured I'd just do a little voiceover. So Siri is doing really good in training. Today we started the down. So this is her first session with the down. So you're watching me introduce the down. I'm using leash pressure as well as luring. Luring is where she's following that food in my hand downward. The reason I'm adding leash pressure is I want to have a directive physical way to help her out if she gets confused in the future while we're doing various commands. And then I'm luring like that because eventually, and you'll see as we get to the end of the video, her command is actually the hand signal of me pointing down like that was right there. She's doing really good. She picks up on stuff very fast. This was our first session doing downs, and then the next session right after it, we already started down stays. So she is just flying through her training like nobody's business. She's a very, very intelligent dog. So really, we're just doing repetition after repetition. In this video, I'm not super worried about duration when it comes to the down. I'm not worried about moving around. I'm just having her elbows hit the floor, introducing this command, and introducing that leash pressure as well. Yielding to pressure is not something that dogs come naturally pre-installed with. That's another reason I really like adding some leash pressure into a couple commands with each dog, because it's not only about teaching her, in this case, like the down, but it's also teaching her that, hey, you know, when you feel pressure, you can give into the pressure and it is going to get you to what you want faster. Versus if she like flew back and freaked out that there was pressure on her neck, she's actually able to think it through and realize, oh, I have the ability to turn this off and get what I want at the end of the day. It's super easy to get in the mindset of, oh, I want the dog to do this, and then that's all you're thinking about. But if you want your dog to have really like quality understanding of their skills, it's all about teaching them why they want to do what you want them to do. So like here with the down, she wants to down off of my hand signal because she doesn't want to feel the pressure on her neck, and she also wants that reward. And she's a very motivated dog. She really likes to work, so this comes pretty naturally to her. It gets more difficult when you have more independent breeds, but she is super malleable when it comes to the training. So for her, you know, why does she want to do stuff? Well, she has food motivation, and then she also has pretty strong like pack drive. She wants to hang out with you, and she also really highly values affection. That's why you'll see occasionally after a really nice rep, I will move backwards and I will reward her with the food, but I'll also reward her with like scratches and pets like I'm doing here. That specific rep, she was like kind of struggling a little bit. There was like a spot on the floor that I think looked like kibble. So when she chose to leave that alone and go into that down for me, I wanted to really reward that well for her. So we do still have like a little bit of jumping like you saw there. My rule with the jumping is if it's not actually on me, if it's just in front of me, I don't mind that. She's not actually touching me. She's just excited to do whatever we're doing. But as far as like the actual jumping on people, that's usually something I cover in the final week of training. I do that because the dog is like kind of just getting comfortable with me the first couple weeks. I want to get all of our training stuff out of the way while we have like that really strong relationship. And then that strong relationship will transfer through even when, you know, I'm telling her no to jumping on me. I just want to make sure we have a good bond going before I start saying, hey, you know, you're not actually allowed to be excited to see me. I don't want her to get that kind of idea. I just want her to know that jumping's not cool. And then I also need to give her something to do other than jump. So it might be like sit and then that person will come say hi to you, or down and that person will come say hi to you. Just jumping doesn't get you anything. So we have to kind of teach the language first, and then we can kind of ask her to speak it, if that makes sense. But she's doing really fantastic with this. I'm really happy with where she's at right now in training. I think our last thing that we need to do is really just polish everything up, because at this point she's seen the place, heel, sit, down, and recalls actually the first thing we did. So after we kind of solidify our down a little bit more, we'll probably work on our sit stays a bit more, get them a little more solid, and then it's just going to be polishing everything else that we have going on.